Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with WrestleMania 30 just about 5 to 6 months away, there's been a lot of talk and speculation by fans, insiders, and whatnot of what kind of card we will have at WrestleMania and who will be directly involved with WrestleMania. Now, a lot has been discussed and speculated over the past few months, if not the past few weeks. Speculation going around, speculation match-wise, going going around, speculation match-wise, is we could finally have Cody Rhodes versus Goldust, Undertaker versus Brock, or Undertaker versus John Cena, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, maybe with a championship on the line, either WWE or World Championships. And also, who would be a part of this? There's even speculation match-wise of Goldberg possibly coming in to face Ryback. And whatever. And speaking of Goldberg, his name is one of the names speculated for an appearance and involvement in some ways. Stone Cold is another one. And then most recently, Hulk Hogan is a name being talked about and discussed. So, when you add all that together, and the potential of Cody Rhodes Goldust, the potential of Undertaker versus Brock or Undertaker versus Cena, with the potential of a possible Goldberg versus Ryback, of a CM Punk Daniel Bryan, or Shawn Michaels Triple H, or Daniel Bryan Triple H. With all these possibilities, excuse me, with all these possibilities, another rumor or speculation, that another match that has been discussed, speculated, and rumored about recently is one that Jeff Sheagle, the Schleg Daddy, at OTRS Central, Off the Rope Show, talked about recently in his little parody, if you will, or little, I don't know what you call it, I guess, go with the flow kind of situation. But basically, it's something that he talked about and basically pointed out to a lot of people would possibly happen. And there's a lot of fans that don't really particularly like hearing this news. And even Sean of Sean's View Entertainment reported this as well. So again, with all those other matches and being discussed and speculated and rumored about, along with the speculation and rumors of who will appear and how they will be involved, the latest speculation and rumor being discussed is title versus title. That's right, title versus title. World Heavyweight Championship versus WWE Championship. And the two names being discussed for that right now, whether you like it or not, John Cena, Randy Orton. Now, a lot of people don't like particularly hearing that, because to a pure pro wrestling fan, you would rather have CM Punk Daniel Bryan for a unification match, and you would rather have it under an Iron Man 60-minute rule, because you know they can go. Now, we're not saying that's not going to happen. But right now, the speculation is, the latest speculated rumor is John Cena, Randy Orton to unify the titles. Now, it would kind of make sense from a business point because both are very recognizable. And both sort of have a rivalry that I guess you could say is like this generation's Austin Rock. That's what it is. It's like this generation's Austin Rock rivalry. That's what it is. Or, if you want to look at it from another standpoint, sort of like your Hogan Piper rivalry. From the Federation years. Yeah. Sort of like your Austin Rock from the Attitude Era and your Hogan Piper from the Federation years. And if you want to look at the new generation, maybe your Bret Shawn rivalry. But the point is, from a business standpoint, it would make sense because these guys have had some good matches, they've had some bad matches, but it's a rivalry from a business standpoint, match quality aside, that the WWE knows fans would be invested in. They know fans would be invested in it because they know who these two are, and it would be the first time ever that one-on-one, not triple threat, not fatal four-way, or anything like that, but one-on-one at WrestleMania, would you have the Orton-Cena rivalry come to a head. Yeah, they've had matches at SummerSlam. They've had matches at Survivor Series. They've had matches at Bragging Rights. They've had matches at Night of Champions, Breaking Point, wherever. On Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, you name it. They've had them. But they have never had that one defining match at WrestleMania. They've never had that one defining match against each other, one-on-one at WrestleMania. And from a business standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to admit it or not, with both being champions right now, and the reason behind John Cena being world champion is to help elevate that championship between now and WrestleMania. From a business standpoint, it makes sense that you would have these two face each other one-on-one for the first time at WrestleMania in a unification match. Because quite honestly, these guys, with the exception of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, are two of your established top guys and most recognizable faces outside of The Undertaker. Outside of Hulk Hogan. These are your most recognizable faces of this current generation. Your most recognizable faces of the past 11 to 10 years. So it would make a lot of sense that at the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania, whether you like it or not, you would have John Cena, Randy Orton you would have John Cena, Randy Orton in a unification match for both the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships. It would only make sense. Now you might say, well, what about the Royal Rumble winner? Where does that leave them? Here's where the catch lies within. This year, or this January, in 2 months, they could say that the Royal Rumble is open to everybody, including the WWE and World Heavyweight Champions. So in other words, they can go a little old school and allow the top champions to participate in the Rumble so that just in case one of them loses the championship between Rumble and Mania, they would have that clause in the contract from the Royal Rumble win to challenge for whatever championship they want. And again, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that that's a possibility as well that could make this match happen, but it is. And again, from a business standpoint, whether we like it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you're a pure pro wrestling fan and you like this or not, you have to understand from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense for this to happen. It makes a lot of sense. Think about it. This would be a Wrestle moment. Sorry. This would be a WrestleMania defining moment. It would be. It would be a WrestleMania defining moment for this current generation because you would have the two top most recognizable stars of this current generation who are your two current champions right now in the ring one-on-one to unify the titles to determine one undisputed champion for the first time since 2002. Think about it. Think about it, folks. Again, I know it doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but think about it. Think about it this way. Both these guys, 10 years earlier, made their official in-ring WrestleMania debuts in very important matches. John Cena opened the card by beating the Big Show to win the United States title. Randy Orton went over Mick Foley in the 3-on-2 handicap match. And both, after that, went on to have stellar careers later on. I mean, Randy Orton, before John Cena, became world champion. What does that tell you? And then John Cena, 1 year later, gets built up throughout 2004. And what happens? 1 year later, WrestleMania 21 becomes WWE champion. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, these guys have been built up and have been continuously built up since those moments, since those WrestleManias. Which is why it would make sense that 10 years after both made their WrestleMania debuts, that 10 years later, at the 30th anniversary, that they would be headlining the Showcase of the Immortals. The Showcase of the Immortals. That they would be showcasing it, headlining it, in a possible unification match against each other. Now, again, I know I'm repeating myself here, but again, I know some people don't want to hear that, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Now, just because their names are coming up right now doesn't mean they could be just because the names are coming up right now doesn't mean they won't be the ones headlining WrestleMania in a unification match. Let's not forget that, as the old saying goes, cards subject to change and plans are subject to change. And like I said, speculation of CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan for the championship has been discussed at WrestleMania. So, again, just because Randy and John right now are currently on top of the WWE and their names are being tossed around as the possible two to headline WrestleMania in a unification match, doesn't mean it won't happen. See, the WWE is not dumb. They realize that if you're going to make this WrestleMania anniversary show, this 30th anniversary special, then you need to do something that shows you're opening the new chapter to a whole new era. You're opening the chapter to a whole new era of wrestling, of sports entertainment. So they might even consider still doing the unification match, but they might even consider saying, you know what? We've seen John Cena and Randy Orton face each other before for the titles. Let's try something new, and let's put in CM Punk against Daniel. Because not only would that be opening the door and writing the first page of a new chapter for a new generation, a new era in sports entertainment and wrestling, but it would basically be saying, hey, we're putting all our eggs into this basket, and we're betting the house on you two to deliver in the main event, the last match of WrestleMania 30, for the unification of both the WWE and world titles. We are putting all our eggs in a basket and betting the house that you guys can deliver and close the show out on a high note. That, remember, and that, folks, is still a possibility. Because if you could get Undertaker, John Cena, that possibility opens its doors even more so. And if you get Randy Orton going off and doing another program with somebody else, again, opens the doors for that CM Punk Daniel Bryan match to be in the position that currently Randy and John are being discussed about right now. So even though discussion of a WWE versus WWE champion versus world champion unification match, title for title match is being discussed, and John Cena and Randy Orton's names are being thrown out there because they're the current champions and they're the more recognizable names and faces of the current generation here, the current generation in the WWE, does not mean they'll be the ones headlining. I mean, right now it's a very strong possibility, but it doesn't mean it's going to end up that way. It could change. And again, if they want to use WrestleMania 30 as a launching point for a new generation, for a new era in the WWE of sports entertainment and wrestling, then your best bet would be to go with CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. That would be your best bet. But will it happen? We don't know. All we know right now is a unification match has been discussed, and the two names discussed for it right now are Cena and Orton, but it doesn't mean that's going to be the case in the end. So all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is right now that's what's being rumored and speculated on top of everything else the WWE has been speculating, talking about, and discussing match-wise and appearance-wise and involvement-wise when it comes to WrestleMania 30. So that's all I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you want, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.